Hello friends, this is a Python Django assignment, and this assignment is about a doctor appointments booking system. So as you can see over here, some of the doctors information is given, and it also has one hyperlink. As I put my cursor over here, take a note at this bottom left corner, you will find over here the ID has been shown, ID of the corresponding doctors. And well, what will happen if I click on this? Before I get into those things, let me first tell you what is the case study. So here I have jotted down the case study, so thoroughly you need to go through this kind of case studies are usually given in context to practical or machine oriented evaluation. Let me discuss this particular sample case study. For example, online appointment booking system, or better to say online doctor's appointment booking system. Okay, so what is the overview? Overview is like what is the gist? A clinic wants to develop an online appointment booking system where the patient can view available doctors and book appointments. Well, in this particular application, I'm not using database. So instead of using database, the system will manage doctor details and appointment using Python list. So you can consider this to be as one of the very fundamental application where a database is not there. So later on you can upgrade this particular application where you can make use of database as well. So this is like the first prototype, you can say so. The application will be built using Django and follow, of course, MVT architecture. That's what Django is all about. So what are the requirements? Requirement says that first it has to show the list of available doctors and the attributes such as like name, specialization, experience, and their image. Show doctors detail dynamically using URL parameter. This is quite important. That means in the URL you have to pass data. So that's URL parameter. Allow the patients to book an appointment using a simple form, a very simple form. So I'm not using Ajax over here. Again, this can also be updated to the implementation of Ajax. And since you are not using database, so for that reason you have to store the detail in the list. Using Django template inheritance for better structuring. Yes, you have to use the template tag and template inheritance, which is very important. Additionally, to improve the navigation, the reverse URL name should be used to link between different pages. Yes, this is a very important concept, reverse URL name. And I will show you in the code how this is to be achieved. So let's create a new Django project by using Django-admin start project, and the name of the project is doctors-appointment. So if you write doctor's appointment, then you will be creating one outer folder by the name called doctor's appointment, and inside that you will have one more folder and then rest of the files. But if you want that there should be only one folder, in that case you can give a single dot, it will have just one folder to be created. Okay, so and then you are creating one app, and the name of the app is called booking, as you can see right over here. Apart from that, you have to create a template folder, like you can see over here, a static folder, because I have to store images and I have to store CSS. Although JavaScript is not over here, but CSS and images are to be there, so static folder is there. Okay, and finally we have to configure the settings.py for the implementation of statics, right? So now let's come to the application one after the other. So let's first come into the project, that the doctor's underscore appointment. Let's open the settings.py, and if I scroll up you will find I have given the call to the module OS. And apart from that, I have created one app by the name called booking.app.booking configure. As you click over here, we have a file called apps. If you click over here inside the apps, we have the class called booking configure. So when you create an app, by default you will find apps.py folder getting created, and inside that you will find the name of the app followed by configure. So that's what I have written over here as the app name. Okay, now apart from that, I have to create a template folder. So for that reason I have made use of os.path.join, and I have given a call to the base directory, which is right over here, and along with that base directory the template folder is also associated, right? This is something you have to do it. Now let's come to the static, which is a very important part of this application. Let's come to the static, and I'm not using any database, so that's a default configuration. Database is not there, so auth, all these concepts are not there. Now let's come over here. Since I will be using images, so for that reason this slash static should be append in the image. I will show you about that. And since I have created a folder by the name called static, so that folder should be associated with your base dir. So for that reason static files underscore dir list is actually been used, so that the static is considered as a part of your project directory. Well, these two are enough for running a local Django project, and if you are going to deploy the project, then we need to have static root. And in case if static root is there for deployment, that means for production purpose, in that case you will be using collect static. But suppose if you are running a single, I mean only on your local system, that means domain is not involved, then you may not write static root, that also is fine. In that case collect static is also not required. But if you are doing a live implementation, then this thing is important. Okay, so these two are minimum requirement for your local based project. Fine. So that's all from the settings.py. Now let's come to the urls.py. Oh, sorry, not the app but the project. Here is the urls.py. And since I have created one app, so I'm going to include that app with my project. So and there is no there is no extra parameter or extra string in my route. So I will type localhost :8000, and that will actually open the default route. Okay, like what you can see right over here, localhost :8000 is something the default route. So there is no extra query string has been added over here, right? So let's now come to our urls.py of the app. No, before we get into this, let me show you settings, I mean templates. Settings already we see, settings already we saw how static is configured. Now let's come to the template, because which is very important. In the template I have got a base HTML file. You should always make use of one base HTML file where you will be doing initial configurations. Well, at this particular point of time I don't have jQuery involved, although I've written these two script, but jQuery is not associated at this point of time. We can upgrade this assignment, then we can involve jQuery and Ajax. But yes, I have got CSS involved, and that's the reason why I have gone for static. And this is very important whenever you are working on files which are static files. So for that reason it is always required to load static. Okay, this load static HTML tag you have to always write it. This will actually make use of static content. And here is the link, which is quite important, and this link is actually referring to the static content. So as you can see over here, the static I have added. So if you run the project in the network tab, you will see this static file has been loaded. Okay, here I have written this thing. I can get rid of this one, that is not required as such. Okay, so let me take you to the network tab, and I would like to show you what is there in the style.css. Even let me show you that. So let's come over here. In the CSS I have got style, some basic styling I did. Okay, so let me minimize this, and here is my application running. Let me stop the server once, let me clear the screen, and let's run the application once again. Yes, it is working. Let me open the inspect, and let's come to the network tab, and let me reload the page again. And as I do that, you can see over here style.css actually got loaded successfully. And if I open this, you will find over here, look, let me make the width. See over here, localhost :8000 / static. So this static is coming actually from your settings. From your settings the static is actually coming, because in your settings you have clearly mentioned. So let me take you to the settings once again, to your project, and inside your settings you stated that there should be a / static URL, right? So for that reason this is what you are actually seeing over here, because you are downloading or you are opening the static files, and at the same time images are also there, that is getting loaded. So if you see over here, these are all 200, so everything is working perfectly fine. So this is absolutely okay, right? So what we can do now is, well, over here what I just now saw is it's showing 304, so it might be using the cache. So let me do one thing, let me clear the cache, let me hard reload the cache. 300 usually stands for, in case if you see now it's perfectly fine, see it's using 200. So if you see 300 HTTP code, it means that it is accessing the default, the data that is there from the caches, which is not actually a good thing. So you must clear the cache. And now see all the requirements, like the file is 200. jQuery is also getting loaded, but we are not using this thing. This is not also this thing. These two things are just ignore for the time being. Style is 200. Bootstrap mean is 200. Following images are all 200. That means they are loaded from the server, not from the cache. So make sure whenever you are working, be very careful that to check what is the status code, and along with that you will be also able to see the routes. These routes are very important. So static is playing a very crucial role. Okay, so that's how the base implementation base.html is working. So this static tag you have to write, otherwise your static will not work. So later on when we will go to image, there also we will see the static. We have to write this. And now we have got a nav bar involved, and then for rest of the content will be embedded inside this content block, and we also have got a footer. Okay, so let me open the nav bar to see what is there. It is present inside the include folder. I have created one folder called includes, and here is my nav bar. So nav bar also I have made use of static, although it was not required, but still as a practice I have added the static. So it's a good thing if you add static. So inside the nav bar I have gone for the bootstrap. The bootstrap makes use of the content class, and inside that I just copied this function from the getbootstrap.com. You can also copy it from there. And as you can see over here, these are the routes. You remember over here it was stated that we should go for URL names, right? And that is what we are doing over here. So these are the URL names which we will be getting it from the url.py file. I will take you over there. So whenever you are using URL name, you should come up with the URL keyword, and along with that the name of the URL, right? So that is what is there in the nav bar. So over here we have got two hyperlink or nav link, that is home and appointment list. So that's how the nav.html is all about. We can check out the footer also. Footer just has got one message which we are seeing in the browser, as you can see over here, 2025 doctor's appointment. So that's what we can see right over here. Fine, this is also good. So footer is fine, style.cs is all good, settings is also perfectly fine. So that's what from the base.html. And now what we'll do is that we'll go to the app. Inside the app we have got urls.py file. That what we will try to explore. Okay, one more thing, I have created one folder over here by the name called app, that is called booking. Inside that I've created one more folder called images, and where I have kept all these images. So these images which you were seeing from the browser a few minutes ago, so they came from this particular folder. Remember, when you are working on images at a static level, it should be there inside the static folder, but at runtime if you upload something, that would go inside the media folder. Well, at this point of time I'm not dealing with any file upload. For that reason I'm just talking about static media folder is not there, but I have got many videos in my playlist. In some of the playlist of Django, you can check out over there. The media folder is also very much important, and that also need to be registered inside settings.py. But over here I'm working on static, so static images will be there inside the static folder. Fine. Okay, so now let's come to the urls.py file, and here is the like 4 paths I have mentioned. I will explore them one by one. So let's come to the view.py, because everything is over here, because this is a very simple Django project, no database involved, nothing, no complicated stuff over here. Just the purpose of this particular app is to make you understand how nested list actually work. Okay, and to make you habituated with the basic flow of MVT, model view template, inside Django. So inside the views.py, what are the things can you see? The first thing is that over here I have got render is required because I need to open template. I also have got redirect. We will see where redirect is there. We will see those things as we expand this thing. We will come across redirect. So redirect, as you can see right over here, because we have been said to go with reverse URL. So reverse URL will require redirect. So we will see that, and reverse is taken from reverse, and reverse will give a call to this particular function reverse. So reverse URL will require redirect and reverse together. Okay. Now let's start with this particular list. So very minutely you watch. This is the outer list, and this is the inner list. This is the second inner list, then in the third inner list, and then the fourth inner list. So you can say that this is a list of lists. Okay, just a second, let me drink some water. So this is a list of lists. Okay, so there is an outer list, and then we have got 4 inner lists, and inside the list we know that list follows indexing. So at the 0th index, okay, so I'm talking about the very first list. Consider at the 0th index there is an ID, at index 1 there is a name, at index 2 this is specialization, at index 3 we have got email, at index 4 we have got image, at index 5 we have got a description. So this is what I'm following. So these indexing is very important for you to understand, because later on when I will be traversing, as you can see over here, the traversal is taking place, and these traversal will all be on basis of this indexing. Okay, so this is an ideal program that makes use of list of lists. Okay, fine. So what is the first route saying? The first route saying is that when you write localhost colon 8000, it should come to the file called view, and inside that there is a function based method. So this is a function based view home, and the name of this URL is home, right? So it will come over here, and what this is going to do is that it is going to simply render means give a call to the template. And since already settings.py, inside settings.py we have already configured template directory, so my Django application knows very well where to get the template file. So it will go to the template, and inside that there is a folder called booking. On basis of the app name I have created this folder, because although at this point of time you just have got only one app, but later on you will be having multiple apps. So it's always a good practice that inside the template folder you can create better you create another folder by the name of the app, and then you create all the files associated to that. And one more additional information I would like to add, that is, like, this is one approach. You can even create a template directory inside your app also. That also will work, because by default inside settings.py, inside the template, if I take you to the template, here there is an option called app_dir s true. This means that the app also can have a template directory. That also will work. Okay, so for each app you can create a separate template directory within the app itself. That also can work actually, but I am following a global template directory within which I have created one app, and here I mentioned the name of the folder, and inside that there is a file name called home.html, and over there I'm sending context. See, over here I'm sending key value pair. So let me open the home.html. This is my home.html. So at the time when the user is typing localhost colon 8000, this is a particular route that get called, and function based view is getting invoked, where I'm rendering one template. At the same time I'm passing the list of list. As you can see over here, within third bracket is showing list containing list. So that what I'm passing into the form of context. So this data is going to my home.html. And again, since we have got images, look at these two lines. In the note it was very clearly mentioned that you have to use template for over here. See, use template inheritance. So template inheritance means you have to use, what you have to use, you have to use the extend keyword. So you're extending the base.html, right? So you are not actually opening base.html. In the route you are not opening base.html, rather you are rendering this particular template. But since this template is inheriting base.html, so automatically the content of base.html will also get activated. and this entire thing, see this entire thing, this you have written this block, but the name of the block is content. This whole content will actually get embedded right over here. Okay, so when you are giving a call to template inheritance, this is the first line that you should always write. Remember, you should always write the template inheritance statement first. This tag should be written at first. After that, you have to write the load. So these are some fundamental rule you must remember. You cannot overlap them. Okay, you have to write the inheritance first, followed by the invocation of the static content. And every time I want the title should get changed. So for that reason, inside the base.html, if you see the title, if I take you to the title part, the title is also I'm changing. I've given the keyword, I mean like a term title, and every time you modify the title like this way, a new title will be applied. Okay, so right now what you can see is you are seeing doctor's appointment. Why you are seeing this doctor's appointment? Because here is the one. See, right now home.html got open, so that's the reason this is what you are viewing. So if I change my route, I will be seeing different title at that point of time. Okay, so now what we are doing is that the view is actually sending this entire dictionary, that is doctors. So I need to iterate through the doctors list, and over here for beautification, for UI I have made use of bootstrap. So again, container is there, row is there, justify content center, that means everything will come at the center of the page, and by default these div would have actually appeared one below the other one, but I wanted to make them in one single row. So for that reason, display flex I have given, and justify content center will bring them at the center of the page. Okay, you can try out without display flex, then you will find that this images are coming one below the other one, because div tag is actually will make them like row wise it will come. Okay, so since it's a row wise, but which I don't want, I wanted to make it as a column wise, so for that reason I went for display flex. Fine. Okay, so now this is the nested list. So in each iteration, so how many time it will iterate? It will iterate 4 times, because over here 4 lists are there. So as it iterates the first time, the main list comes over here, that means the first list will come over here. And again I have gone for some styling over here. I've given the width of the image. I've this box, what should be the width, I've given some margin, I have given a border to this is the border, and the text alignment center I have gone for. Now since I have static content, so again image, this will give a static, you have to use static, then only inside, if you go and check your source code over there, you will find. So let me explore the source code. Let me close this and let me open the view page source. You will find that over here /static is written. See, /static Smith /static Johnson. So this is coming. So this is coming right from here. So this static has to be there because you are opening the static image. So for that reason, static has to be there. So where exactly the static is present, the static content is present inside the booking folder, not template, sorry, inside the static booking folder. Inside that there is a folder called images. So there where the path is, so be very careful. Okay, you don't have to start with any slash, the slash will come automatically. So you write the name of the folder that is there inside the static, then you write another nested folder, that is images, and put the slash over here, so that automatically the image name should get appended. Now why I have written over here 4, this is the index. If you remember, 4 refers to image. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is the 4. So this 4 is what I have written over here, so that the file name or the image file name, 4 means the image file name should be getting rendered over here. Okay, an alternative tag can be the ID, can be the name of the, can be the name. So this is the name, can be alternative text, and the width of the image is 200. Okay, and then I am showing the name of the doctor. As you can see over here, the doctor's name is Dr. Smith. In heading tag I am showing, again it's 1, because this is index number 1, means index number 1 is the name of the doctor. Okay, specialization is 2. This is the specialized, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So in that way the sequence has been done. Okay, and over here again I have gone for, look over here, this is very important, the route. How am I going to generate the route? So this route I have generated with the help of again the name to the URL I've given. So URL doctor's details. So if I take you to the urls.py, over here see there is a doctor's detail route is there. Now watch this thing very minutely. This is very important. Let me close the base.html. So this is the name of the route, and I have to pass parameter in the URL. Remember in the note it was mentioned that you need to pass parameters. So over here see, show the doctor's detail dynamically using URL parameters. For that reason, doctor.0 means I'm passing the ID, 0 means ID, 0 means ID over here. That's what I'm passing. So what I'm saying is, please get into this URL. So name of the URL is URL details. So now look over here how it is going to render. The doctor text will be added in the URL, and this is the variable name, which is of type integer. Doctor underscore ID is a variable name. You have to be very careful when you are writing the URL parameters. So doctors underscore ID and then slash is there. So that means this doctor dot 0, this 0 means the index of the list, which is over here. The ID that I will be passing, that will actually get stored inside this variable. Later on I have to catch hold of this variable, then only I will be able to display the respective doctor's detail. So that's how the rendering will take place, and that's the reason why every time I put my cursor over here, you can see the number over here 1, it is showing the ID 2, ID 3, so I clicked on one, ID 4. So each of these is showing over here, and that is coming right from here. Okay, so be very careful of using the parameter over here and mention the data type. Fine. So that's how this is working. Now let's consider, as we click on any one of this, then what will happen? Well, if you click on this, as you click on this, now we will be redirecting to the next route. So as you click on the ID, it will bring you to the next function based view. So that function based view will come in picture over here. Look over here, I have mentioned the variable name which was there in my params. So whatever params I have written, whatever parameter I have written, that should be over here. This is very important. Okay, that's how this data will be transferred, which actually got initiated from here. So this was just passing the ID that got stored inside the variable, and that what you are passing inside this parameter. Okay, so now let me open this function based view. Okay, fine. Here let me show you what I did. So I have to pick up the respective data, right? So the data is IDs over here. Now what I am doing is that I'm writing the smart way of accessing. So this is my doctors list. So from the doctors list I picked up one row at the 0th index. This entire list came over here. So that means this portion is working first. Okay, and now inside this list, inside the I picked up the very first list. So in that first list at the 0 index I have got ID. So I'm checking whether that ID did match with the ID that is over here or not. In case if it did, then what will happen, that row or that particular list will be forwarded right over here, in case if that is actually happening. Okay, if that is happening, then it is going to happen, and if it is not happening, then the different thing. And let me explain once again. So first this iteration is going to take place. First, this is my complete list. From that complete list it will pick up the very first row. So let me consider that I'm going to click this particular ID or this particular Dr. Lee, whose ID is 3. Okay, then what is going to happen? So 3 will be there inside this variable. 3 will be there because 3 will store over here, so it will come right over here. So now I'm saying that from the actual list it picked up the very first row, and that is over here. That row 0th index is having a value 1. Is 1 is equal to 3? No. So this is not going to work. In that case, the iteration will again come over here. It will pick up the second row and it will store right over here. The second row 0th index is 2. Is it 3? No, it's not 3. So it will come over here once again. It will pick up the third row inside the doc, and third row 0 index is 3. Is it 3? Yes, this time it's 3. So pass the entire row to this particular reference variable that is called doctor, and since doctor is containing some data, so for that reason this is not going to work. Rather it will render me a new template that is called doctor underscore detail.html, and I will pass this row inside this particular context. So let me click over here to show you. Suppose I clicked over here. Right now this is the route, but the moment I will do this, see over here the string doctor got added and the ID got added. So that is coming right from this URL. As you can see, doctors got added and ID got added. So if I change some other, suppose I'm clicking Dr. Smith, so in that case doctor/1 would be there. If I click on Dr. Brown, in that case doctor/4 will be there. So you can well understand that this string followed by this parameter is keeping on changing, and that will bring me to this particular function view, and the respective template is getting rendered. Now why I have gone for none? What if I know there are 4 rows, but if I try to tamper, suppose instead of writing 4 over here, if somebody intentionally wrote 9 over here. Now we don't have any doctor by the ID 9. In that case doctor not found will be shown, and there is a time this is working. So none of the doctor got matched. In that case the none will be stored inside the reference variable, and the content is true, doctor is none. In that case not found HTML will be open. So this also you have to take care. So this is the not found HTML. See over here, I was telling I will change my title every time, and for that reason, see now it is showing not found. So let me close. So it's showing not found. So this is a good way of writing. Don't fix your title, always change your title, and for that reason inside the base.html you have to make the title over here like this way, so that the title can be appended, right? Okay, so you saw how exactly the not found is working. But if everything is fine, then it will redirect me to doctors underscore detail.html. So let's go and open the doctors underscore detail.html over here, and remember this has forwarded one context. So this context I need to receive over here, so that is going to be received. So it's a single list, right? And that list, again, it's a single list, so that means a particular list. This particular list I have forwarded. So now I can traverse each of this index wise. So I can go to 0, I will get the ID. I can go to 1, I will get name. Go to 2, I will get specialization. Go to 3, email. Go to 4, image. Go to 5, description, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So the doctor I receive ID, this is the name that I'm showing over here. Okay, let me come up with the correct doctor. So let me go and see this one. Yes, see here the name comes. Let me keep it like this way. The name comes. 4 is the name over here. See first 1 means what? 1 means name. 4 means what? 4 means image. So after name, image is there. Then I have got specialization. So 2 means specialization. So one after the other I have just going for extraction of those fields over here. See how nicely this extraction of the field of a particular list I have done index wise. So this is the beauty of list, because list gives us indexing, so we can extract individually these things, right? It's very nice way of doing it. And now comes the appointment part again. This is something which is very important, appointment. Okay, see how am I writing the URL. So I have created one URL by the name called doctor's appointment, and what I am passing, again I am passing the ID. Remember, this is the doctor is a list, and 0 index means the ID, so every doctor will have an ID. So that's what I am going to pass over here. Let me show you again. So doctor's appointment followed by I'm sending the ID over here. So let me take you to urls.py. Over here I have got doctor's appointment. So how am I going to render this? The way I'm rendering is doctor's appointment followed by ID, and then I've written /book. Well, this is also a nice way of doing. See, it is your choice. If you want to put the string book first followed by ID, that also is fine. If you want to write ID first then the string book, that is also fine. But make sure all the routes should be unique. That is very important. Okay, so I just wrote the ID in between these two strings. So doctor will be there, then the following ID will come. ID will be the 1 2 3 4, because there are 4 doctors are there, so 4 IDs will be coming, and after that there will be the /book, and this is the name of the URL. So that what you can see right over here, the name of the URL is there. So this particular data, that means from the list, the 0th index is the ID that will come and get stored inside this particular variable. and then it will give a call to another function based view called doctor's appointment. So let's come to this particular, okay, let me open this to see how it is. So as I click on this, so look as the route, doctor was there, then ID came, then the slash book came over here, and it is showing that you are making the booking for Dr. Brown. Okay, so let me go back to my route. If I click on this doctor, that is Dr. 2, Dr. Johnson, if I click, it will show me we are booking for Dr. Johnson because you are passing the specific list, right? So that's the beauty, that's how the thing is working. So if I go for Dr. Lee, and if I click on this, it will show me that I'm booking for Dr. Lee. So you are targeting the specific doctors very, very nicely. So now let's come to the let's come to the function now, function based view book. So doctor's detail is over. So now we are in the second last function. This is where the doctor's book underscore appointment comes. So again, here also we are passing the parameter, so I need to capture that parameter, and just like previously I have to pick up the respective row for which I am going to book, and in case if somebody tampered, then no not found page will come in picture. But right now we didn't tamper anything, so definitely doctor or single list will come inside this variable. And look over here, it has got two parts. So the first part is if I click the submit button, then the post will get a call, and since this is the first time getting invoked, so I'm rendering this particular page and I'm passing that particular list, a single list I'm passing. So by default the page will get open because it's a get request. Unless and until I fill the form, the post will not get called. So I'm giving a call to the get request, and let me open the book underscore appointment. So here is the book underscore appointment. So again I have changed my title. Look over here, the title got changed, it's book underscore appointment. So make sure you do it in this fashion. Okay, and since there is no static content involved, so that's the reason I didn't write static, but if you feel like you can add it, that's also no problem. And since it is passing a particular list, and we already know that 1 means the name of the doctor, again I'm showing you 1 means the doctor's name. That's the reason it is showing doctor's name over here, which you can see right over here. Okay, and the basics bootstrap implementation I have done to make it center. I have gone for justify content, and the width I've given 350. It's up to you to increase the width, the text and center, brought the content to the center of the page. And now what I have got this form where I will be filling up the data. Make sure whenever you are using form, CSRF token has to be there because you are submitting the data. So if you come over here, if you go to the view page, if you go to the view source, I will be able to see the CSRF token over here. Let's come down. So this is the CSRF token that is going to come. We have seen this thing number of times using Ajax, but this is the very first HTML assignment which I am showing. For that reason I didn't make use of Ajax, but definitely I will upgrade this thing, make use of Ajax. Okay, so over here I have got a form, and the post method is getting called. I have a text box whose name is patient name, and I have got one calendar, and the reason the type is date, and I'm going to give a call to button submit. And the moment I will fill the form, again there is no validation done, so I have to fill the form. So when I will fill the form by being a patient name, so let me give the patient name as Swaroop Shah. So that is patient name, and let me book over here a date, like I want to go with the date called 18th of March. So the moment I will click on the submit button, then what happens, this will give a call to the same route once again. So the control will come over here, it will give a call to the function, and this time the post method gets executed. So as you saw, there is a field called date, there is a field called patient name. Those input will be extracted from the template, and it will be stored in these two respective variables. And look over here, I have created one blank list, one empty list, and inside the list I'm going to append another list over here. Please see it very minutely. Append function means you are inserting a new data inside the list, but that is not just only thing. I'm inserting another list over here. So this is again going to be a list of list. I created one empty list, but over here I'm appending a complete list. So in this list, what are the things I will store? I will store the doctor's ID. So doctor ID is whichever doctor I have created. I have to whichever row the doctor ID is, that will come and get through over here. Okay, because already I have passed the doctor, so that doctor I have already taken from here on basis of doctor ID. So that list is over here. So from that list I will take the doctor's ID. Patient name I have given as input. Doctor's name I will take it. Doctor's specialization I will take, and date which I have given as input I will store. So all these things will be stored again. So at 0 position doctor ID, at 1 position patient name, at 2 position doctor's name, and at 3 position the name of the the date of the patient booking that will be stored. Okay, so that's how this is getting formed. This particular list is getting filled up. And now over here reverse URL call has been stated. What does the reverse URL call? I already have one URL by the name called home. I want to redirect to that particular route. So redirect with the help of reverse. So I'm not opening any more template, rather I'm giving a call to the URL which I have already mentioned. So I'm redirecting with the help of a reverse URL. So directly from this URL, currently I was there in book_appointment. From here I'm backtracking to this particular URL, and that's the reason why it is called reverse URL. And it was mentioned in the note that you have to use reverse URL name. This is a very nice and very clean way of doing it. Okay, so as we can see over here, right now we are the booking. So once we submit the page, then we'll get back to this home route, and it will be localhost :8000 only. So I will be able to see the doctor's detail. Okay, so just like let me fill the form now. So as I fill this form, again I'm telling you it will bring me to this particular route. The doctor's ID will be there because ID is there, and it will do the search operation. It will pick up one particular ID. Now why did I use the next? Because this is a very lazy way of doing it. The moment I will get matched with one ID, I will stop right over there. I will not proceed any further. So that's how you are saving time, saving memory. Because once a search is found, definitely there will be no other requirement for search. So I am not writing just a loop, rather I am going for next. So next will stop immediately once the search criteria get matched. So that row will be right over here. Okay, and that's how the entire list gets filled up. So let me submit the button. As I do that, I hope the thing gets work, and I said it will reverse me back to the localhost :8000. So as I click on the book button, see it send me reverse. It send me back to the base means urls dot in the urls.py home, the name home route, it got forwarded localhost :8000, and that's how the booking has been done successfully, right? So that's how the function called book_appointment is also done. And now we are left with to see the booked appointment. So again, let's go to the URL. So in the include nav bar over here, we have a route called appointment_list. So let's come over here. We have a dedicated function for /appointment localhost :8000/appointment/, and that will take me to the last function, that is called appointment list. This is the last function. So what it will be doing, it will simply pass this list as a context to this particular template appointment.html. Sorry, so let me open this appointment.html, and I'm getting one list over here. Now remember, I already booked one, so can another patient can also do the booking? Yes, of course it can do the booking. So before I see it's showing me that the patient doctor's ID 3 Swarup Shah already did the booking. It has been shown, and if I feel like I can go for one more doctor, so previous doctor was ID 3, so let's go with Dr. Smith. So as I click on the booking, I will fill up the data. So suppose the patient name is called Raj Aryan. I love this character. I am very fond of this character rather. And let's choose the booking date as 20, and let me click this, and it will take me to the reverse route, that is back to the localhost :8000. So neat and clean way of traversing, isn't it? Now if I go and click on the in the appointment, we will see two rows this time. See, this is the first row, this second row. Remember, each time we are doing the booking, it will create it is getting stored inside this list, and this list is getting appended. So there is a nesting taking place. So this is a list of list is taking place. So when you forward this particular list to the template, definitely there will be multiple rows. So for that reason we are doing the iteration. And I already said 0 means what is the 0 purpose over here, that I have clearly mentioned. 0 means ID of the doctor, 1 means patient name, 2 means doctor's name, and 3 means specialization. So that what you are seeing one after the other right over here. Okay, Oh my god, it took a long amount of time for me to clear this, to explain me this entire assignment. Although I didn't make use of Ajax, nor database was involved. But one thing I would like to share you guys is that if you follow this particular task very minutely, definitely a lot of things will be crystal clear to you, because this is really a very what I will say, a very fundamental way of creating a Django application making use of MVT model. And the most important thing about the Python data structure, that is a list of lists, and how the routings are getting called, everything got crystal clear in this particular video. Just you need to listen and watch the video minutely, and definitely will be able to do this kind of assignment. Okay, this is just one of the assignment. In upcoming days I will be coming up with more advanced level assignment. Of course, stay tuned with my video and just keep watching Django. See you soon. Bye bye.